Up, y'all? I wanted to go live, but I don't want to get distracted. I feel like live might distract me a little bit, even though I don't be having that many people in my live right now. But I didn't calm down. I was on fire, y'all. I was out by the lake. It's like when I get out there by that water, like when I get out there at the lake, I get downloads. Like I connect so much with nature. Like then I was doing a live out there. I was trying to do a live. The service got messed up. That ain't nothing but the enemy. He's so mad. That enemy didn't try to trick me out my spot. He don't want me to reveal a lot of the things that I have to reveal to y'all. He's so mad because he didn't try to get me out of here. He wanted to keep me away from this very thing. This is why he wanted me dead. And no devil in hell gonna stop me from conveying the truth to the people. You know, and now that I'm calmed down a little bit, I might turn up again. If I get to yelling, y'all, it's not because I'm trying to yell at y'all. It's because I'm passionate and I'm on fire for God. I'm on fire for bringing the truth. I'm on fire for truth. It's gonna hurt your feelings if the shoe fit. But don't let it hurt your feelings, because one thing about the truth will piss you off first, but it will set you free. It's gonna piss you off first, but it's gonna set you free. And because I'm doing the works of God, I'm doing the works of the Father. If Jesus is the Son, I'm the daughter. Because God, this ain't nobody help me with this journey but God. I ain't been in no church. I don't watch no sermons. I don't do none of that. The only thing that I will watch, well, that I used to really watch, I still watch them sometimes, is the Prophetic Word Girls, because they have helped lead me on my journey. Like Latoya Okia, Steph, Jordan's Journey, like Pretty Balls. I owe them girls, and my day ones, y'all that been rocking with me since y'all been watching my journey. Trust you me, when God finished pouring in my blessings, baby, I got y'all. Because y'all the reason I keep going. Because of y'all views, I keep going. I keep doing it. I don't got a lot of views or none of that, but because of y'all, that one girl, I gotta go through my videos and figure out who you are that told me in them comments that day. This is why it's so important to be obedient. And if God tell you to just give somebody some words of wisdom, whatever it is he's telling you to do, this is why it's important to do it. Because you don't know how people will hold on to that word that you said. And when she told me that my purpose was big, this was before I knew. This is before I knew what I'm really supposed to do here. God did this to me. God revealed all of this to me. I ain't have to, man, all of that other lie. I don't care about none of the lies and tricks that religion has taught you folks about God, about the way to get to God, about the only way to get to God is through the church. You got to go through Jesus to get to God. Yes, I believe in Jesus. Yes, I know he was real. I know he was really he was that. He was that. I really feel like I'm from his bloodline. But I don't know, did Jesus have kids? See, I still got to learn a lot about that. But I know he didn't marry. I know he ain't married nobody, but God using me in the same way. He using me in the same way. All this talk you gotta go through. And I saw that scripture in the Bible the other day. I don't remember where it was, but a lot of times I'll see scripture in here, and if I don't write it down, I'll forget where I get it to, because I am still new with learning all the parts of the Bible. But this relationship with God, like I told y'all several times, I got my relationship with God first. Then he led me to order this book. Then he led me to order all these books that this is me and God. It's so funny I was breaking down. I got a video. I don't know if I'm gonna post that video. Because God just with me. Like he know what I get. He called me to that lake. It was drizzling and stuff. I was like, I ain't even about to go out to the lake. I'm gonna just go walk around the mall, because I like getting this walk in the morning now. Like I really like getting a walk in. It really just helped me get my thoughts going and stuff. I love getting around the water. I keep seeing the stork at the water. And I was doing a live earlier, and it got messed up. And I was about to talk to you about the stork, because the stuff that I see here in Texas, I never seen these animals before. I never seen this stuff before. And I connect to nature. I'm very connected to nature. very connected to the spirit animals. I'm connected to all of this. I feel like I'm like Dr. Doolittle. I talk to the animals. I do all of that stuff. I connect with them. And that's why they come up to me. They feel it. We all are energies. We're spiritual beings. They can feel the energy in me. Other people, dogs come up to me. Like the birds just come to me. Like I'm really connected to nature. This is God's creation, so people be talking all this witchcraft, and that's what I really want to talk about today. And I'm sorry if I get to jump around. My mind got so many things I got in here about this, and I'm just on fire for God. I'm on fire for the truth. I'm on fire to let y'all know that there's a many ways. The way that God used you to get to him ain't the way he'll use me. The way he communicate with you ain't the way he'll communicate with me. But if some of y'all are getting these same experiences that I'm getting, the things that have gotten me close to God, which is what I wanted to talk about today, this whole angel number, all of that stuff, spirit animals, people say this is occult and witchcraft. Those are religious spirits. Because when you know God and when you understand God and if you really have read this book, you see the prevalence of numbers. You see the prevalence of nature. You see everything is talking about at the river, God's creation. The rivers is the fountain, is the tree of life. Do you see the importance of the rivers? Everything that happened by God's creation. This is God's creation. God created good and evil. Where is that? Right here, right on the page. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. That's Isaiah 45, chapter 45, verse 7. I, the Lord, do all these things. If you really into this, if you have read your Bible, like I said, I haven't been much into New Testament, but that Old Testament, that shows you who God really is. That's God himself, the Father, Lord God of the Hebrews. And yes, they didn't call him a million names. Hagar called him Elroy. They didn't call him Jehovah. He didn't say to Moses, when you go to Pharaoh, and they said, well, who do I tell him sent me? How do he know that I'm from you? He said, you say that I am that I am. That was his name. I am that I am. Like, man, this stuff gets so intense. It's so real. I'm just so in disbelief, for one, that God chose me, that God is using me, that God wants me to speak up about these things. But he chose me because he know I'm real. And I'm going to step on a lot of toes. I'm going to hurt a lot of feelings. I'm going to step on a lot of toes. I'm going to have you questioning a lot of things, a lot of people, your everyday life. I'm going to have you doing all of that. But God chose me to do it because you need to question everything. Because everything that glitters ain't gold. Everybody that say God, say Jesus, everybody that looks holier than thou, everybody that get a mic, get a church, half of these Levites, these pastors are the Levites. If y'all read the book of Numbers, since we get ready to talk about Numbers, if y'all read these things, y'all will see, like, how can all this stuff be occult? This is God's creation. What did he spend the first 7 days doing? Creating this universe, creating this world, creating nature, creating his animals. He created all these things. So if these things are so demonic, God, it just further shows you that God will use anything and anybody. He will use evil for your good. He used evil for my good. I told you guys how I got started on my journey. I almost got killed. Then follow up, ran into another devil, had a baby with this man. Through the evil of my baby daddy, that pushed me away. That made me fly away to Texas. In 2 weeks span of time, after he did and said what he said, after stalking me, after saying the wickedness that he said about my child, after all of that, that evil is what pushed me, catapulted me right into my purpose. So if these things are evil, he will use them for your good. If angel numbers are evil, he will use them still for your good, but he created numbers. Did y'all ever pick up the Bible and read the book of Numbers? Let me put a space because I got to come back to this Jeremiah because that's what I wanted to talk about today too. As I was driving today, on my dashboard, 177. Now, granted, some this one prophetic word girl said that instead of saying angel numbers, call it prophetic numbers. But it don't even matter what you call it. Numbers are still numbers. And God created all things. Satan ain't create nothing. Satan don't have the ability to create. He has the ability to manipulate. And they say witchcraft. Witchcraft is nothing but manipulation and control. It's nothing but altering God's creation. That's why the same way that they use their word spells for bad, we use word spells for good. The same way some of these demonic entities, I got a baby with a warlock. I have a baby with a warlock. He has spiritual gifts, but because he used them for evil, he uses them for evil. He uses his words, his prayers to cast evil onto me, to block me. It depends on what you're using it for, but everything is God's creation. Words is God's creation. It depends on the manner in which you're using it, which what makes it evil. It depends on if you're idolizing. If you choose that you want completely believe in numbers and not give God no credit, but giving all the credit to just the numbers. You give credit to his creations. That's when he starts to put. You have to know that God is still above all of these things. God led you to these things. Well, through everything, with me talking about spirit animals, numbers, all of that, is nothing but God. What first started to awaken me, the toad was first. When the toad came out the window, y'all got to go videos back about this stuff. I'm not going to sit and go into detail about all of that because I have videos talking about all this stuff. How I started my spiritual journey, how God speaks to me, all of this. God speaks to me through numbers. The house that he just blessed me with, he confirmed again and again that this was the house through my numbers. 117, 144. You know the prevalence of 144 if you understand, if you read the book of Revelations, you know. So you can't say that numbers is demonic. You can't say that. He had Moses to mark every one of the Israelites in the book of Numbers. In the book of Numbers, the prevalence of numbers. The prevalence of numbers. Look around you. Everything is about numbers. Your house, don't you have numbers on your address? You are a number at your job. You are a number from the day you're born. Your birth certificate, number. Your social security, number. The number of eyes you have, the prevalence of everything, numbers. But the book of Numbers, read it. Read it. He ordained these Levites in the book of Numbers. These Levites are the pastors, and a lot of them have led the people astray. God is the creator of all things. This is his creation. Can't nothing get done without God. The only thing Satan can do is manipulate. And as I was driving today, and I was on live last night, talking about us, we the chosen race. And I said to God this morning, I said, God, use me. Like, what you want me to talk about today? Last night, before I went to bed, I said, God, because I have so much to read. I have so much to read. I'm the one that's going to do the reading for our community because we know black people ain't going to read a goddamn thing. We've been holding on to this Bible for years. This our Ark of Covenant that they done stole from us because they know the power of this. This is our direction. This is supposed to be our guidebook. And then we got the audacity to question if it's real because we be like, who wrote it? It don't matter who wrote it. Who wrote any of that stuff that you use on a daily basis? You don't really know who cut your checks, but you still spend that money. It don't matter who wrote it. When you get to know God and you know him, you got that relationship with him, you gonna know what's of his word and what's of his likeness. You gonna know because you feel it. This stuff ain't no fake. This is something that's felt. The Holy Spirit is something that's felt. You feel it. But once again, like I said in my little video earlier, I don't know if that's that's probably is going to go up before this. You feel a lot of times we taught to suppress our feelings. This is why we get to coping with all of this BS in the world. We get to coping with this bad food that they give us. We get to coping with all this stuff. Everybody question everything, but y'all don't question where y'all food come from. Y'all don't question where your clothes come from. Y'all don't question what spells might have been done over your clothes before you got it into your possession, into your house. You don't question a lot of things that you should question, but you questioning this? You questioning this? The basic instructions before leaving earth? This is our God book. And yes, the enemy has got to it. Look around, bro. Look around. Observe. How have y'all been reading this thing? The pastors, it's like either they know, right? And they so busy wanting to be the enemy camp. They want to be on Dagon side. They worshiping Dagon. Any of these churches celebrating Christmas, all of this stuff. I'm gonna get into all of that, because one thing about it, God is leading me to all of it, to give y'all the breakdown on all of it. It's so real what I got to expose to y'all that I don't even know if I can really do it on this platform. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know if I have to get on Patreon, but one thing about it, God gonna keep leading the way. He gonna keep making sure I bring this heat to y'all, because we need to know who we are through the number 177. I'm gonna just be real with y'all what some of my numbers is. First of all, 177, 717, 144, 217, 317, 417, the number 17, pivotal in my life. Pivotal. I was born on 9/17. That's what got me started too. In August 2021, I started seeing the number 917 everywhere. And because it's my birthday, I'm like, what? Why am I keep seeing these numbers everywhere? Even just now, I'm flipping through trying to get to Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 7, because one thing, like I said, now instead of going to look up angel, what is angel number this, I keep seeing these numbers, even though when I look this stuff up on Google and I be like, what is number 177 mean? What does number 117 mean? When I read it, the spiritual meaning of it still be right on track. Talking about that you are walking into your purpose, that you know your purpose. It's about finding your soul mission, all of that. And that's exactly where I'm at in my life. All of that, when I first started seeing those numbers every time, it resonates. It's true. It's facts. I got another video. I don't know if I'm gonna post it yet, but I guess I can, because it has came to pass. So, I'm gonna get confirmation from God though. But even with the numbers 3333, because angel numbers is really considered 111, 222, 333, 444, 555, 666, 777. Those are supposed to be angel numbers. But even with that, you're supposed to, if you go to the Bible verse, if you seeing those numbers consistently, damn, I just lost my page. If you seeing those numbers consistently, go to the Bible verse for those numbers, and guarantee you it's gonna be right on the money. The scripture he gonna give you gonna be right on the money. It's so funny, because last night when I was just talking about who we are as the Black community, and I asked God, what do you want me to read today? What do you want me to follow up on? And one thing about it is I have yet to read the full of any of these books. I done started out reading Numbers. I'll get through some of it and don't ever finish it. Started out reading Deuteronomy, never finished the whole thing. Started out reading 1 Samuel, never finished the whole thing. I started out reading Proverbs, never finished the whole thing. I have to get through the entire book. Started out reading Jeremiah, but when I was really reading Jeremiah, that's when I realized that when God revealed to me what's going to happen to us. So he used Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah, to help me reveal the prophecy of what's going to happen to America, the fall of Babylon. This is biblical. This stuff is biblical. And this is why he's calling many of the Black community, because we are his chosen people. He chose us. He got an oath with our forefathers, and he's a man of his word. He's not a man that's going to lie. His word will never come back void. The oath that he made to our forefathers, to Noah, to Abraham, the oath that he made to them, the covenant that he made with them, he's going to bless us. This is why but he's not going to. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me go to Jeremiah. So today, while I was in the car, I see 177, and I've been seeing it a lot lately. So I'm like, all right, God, what are you trying to tell me? Just like with 144, I'm like, what are you trying to tell me? So I know I gotta find the Bible verse that resonates with that, so I can see that he wants me to go to that part and speak on it. So Jeremiah 17:7. Even with just now as I was flipping through Hosea 9:17, the same thing as I was talking about last night. I told y'all videos back why we in bondage as black people, because he brought so much wrath onto America to free us from slavery. He brought so much wrath on America to free us from slavery. And this is the thanks we give him. We get to idolizing other gods. And he said to put no gods before him. Let's go to the Ten Commandments. What is the first thing he said in the Ten Commandments? I am the Lord your God, which have brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make unto you any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth, the underworld. Wait till I break it down about all of this stuff. And to see that so much, like, had they spent, but this is all tricks of the enemy. And I just really get mad at the leaders, the Levites. Y'all supposed to, but maybe they just don't know. I'm gonna just give it to them as maybe they just didn't know. Because how have y'all been reading this thing for years and years and years, and y'all don't see that this is us? How do other nations know that we are the people of this book and we don't even know it? Been going to church for years. Y'all been going to church for years, and we still lost about who we are, bruh. It's like, dang. We worshiping all these other gods. We putting the pastor above God. We equivalent the pastor to God. The pastor is not God. When you leave a church house, you still need to go home and call on God. You need to ask God to confirm for you things that even the pastor didn't sermon to you today. We need discernment. You need to be asking, praying every day for discernment, because a lot of us don't know how to discern between good and evil. And we wonder why we keep letting the enemy right into our household, right into our life, why we keep sleeping with the enemy, why we keep inviting another enemy right into our bed, right around our children. Sacrificing your children to Molech, the thing told us not to do in Leviticus. We're going to start doing a Bible study, because black people not going to read this, man. Y'all not going to read it, and then if you read it, you ain't even going to comprehend it. Some people will, like, no shade to the people, but overall, this is why they say what they say about us. This is why they say what they say. You put it in a book, a black person they put the Krabby Patty formula in the book, and we will never get it, because one thing we won't do is read for ourselves. We won't seek for understanding for ourselves. We looking for everybody else to lead us. We looking for everybody else to lead us. We want to be like all these other nations, but God told us not to try to fit in with those other nations. He said, yes, you want to go take over their land. You're going to be amongst those other nations, but do not conform to them. Do not start to worship their gods. Do not start to take on their practices. The covenant he made with the covenant that we have with him is not the same thing that God had with them. We are not them. But yet we always trying to conform. We want to be like the white people so bad. A lot of y'all don't even be around white people enough to know that they go through the same stuff as us. They nasty too. A lot of the wickedness that goes on in our community with this molestation stuff, a lot of that is because of what they done did to us in slavery. God told them to enslave us, but he did not tell them to start doing all that nasty wickedness stuff to us. Biblical. Let me go to Jeremiah. Actually, I'm going to read it from the NIV version. because I have that up here right now. But because of something personal, that I was questioning God on, because I already know what God wants for me. And it ain't even necessary to really speak on, but I know God. I know what he wants for me. I know what he want me focusing on. And this other stuff that I've been doing, I know what he want me focusing on. And because of that, I was talking to him. I'm like, God, do you want me just get this up? Do you want me just... And I said, I'm for God. I got work to do. I vowed to God that once I get in my place, because I was so stressed being in the shelter, I'm like, I can't even focus on reading when I'm trying to find us a place. I'm trying to get out the shelter. I'm trying to do this. I vowed to him. I said, God, when I get my place, I promise you, I'm going to be all in on my book. I'm going to be all in. And the enemy keep trying to trick me out my spot, because money's still tight for me, because I'm ready for my money to get back right like it was, and get these hexes off my finances. These people that don't want to see me win, that be watching me, like, it's sad. And this is why I say sometimes you can love family, you can love your exes and friends and all of that, but sometimes people really don't want good for you, especially when they are of the kingdom of darkness and they're refusing to get to the kingdom of light. They are refusing to be illuminated by the Holy Spirit, because they so mad at God, because they think God had came down so hard on them. So they'll do hexes on you. They're the ones that's doing that witchcraft and voodoo stuff. They're the ones. And a lot of the same ones who will sit up there and say this stuff about these angel numbers and all of this, they the same ones who still wear designer, when half of these designer companies that's in a 1%, they all some Moleks, they all a part of this child trafficking, a part of the whole agenda, pushing sex onto the social media, getting y'all, making everybody think that they need to go get sucked and plucked and tucked and squished into BBLs, altering God's creation, manipulating God's creation. All of that stuff is what's demonic, if you want to be real with what's demonic. Anything that's a manipulation to God's creation. Risking your life. Putting yourself in further risk. Like, people don't talk about that, but they'll sit here and say, oh, numbers is this. Numbers is that. Why is God's number 7 then? What is he emphasized the number 7? How many times in here? In the book of Revelations, how many things did he say about the number 7, the seven beasts, the 7 angels, the 7 vials? For how many days did it take him to do his creation? The importance of resting on the 7th day, the Sabbath day that most of us not even doing. Saturday is number 7. Look at your calendar, my friend. Look at your calendar. Sunday is the first day. But these religious folk want to talk all this riffraff, all this and all that. Man, stop playing with me. And this is why God is using me, because I'm going to come with that hardcore rawness. No, I'm not here to tickle nobody's ears. No, I'm not here to do none of that. I'm serving for God. And just like God, when you know God, when you read this stuff, God is love, but God about that action. When I said my video, that short video, talk is cheap. God about that action. And this is what he's showing us. He shows us on a daily. He will humble you. He will humble you. Stop playing with him. And this is what I'm getting ready to go read today. Jeremiah 17, number 7. Mind you, I told y'all my numbers is 170. One of my numbers, he used a variation of 1 and 7. 1 and 4s. 144. 1777, 17117, 1117, and even in one of my videos on my playlist about who we are, he led me to tell that we the real Jews. Them other Jews, they the fake Jews. Go watch that video. Y'all will see how he used angel numbers. Well, like they say, prophetic numbers, because sometimes he might use that 333 kind, but most times it's not those numbers. Even though with that, Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 33, I believe. Look, I'm right here I'm in Ezekiel right now. Even Hosea 9:17, talking once again about this same thing that I'm getting ready to talk about in Jeremiah 177. These numbers, stop playing with me with these numbers, because it be right on the money every single time. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. And I got a video about the number 333, because when I was questioning, because God promised me a house. I wanted a house. I wanted me and my kids to find a house for us to live in, not an apartment. And this, of course, ain't no shade because I love apartments and I love it all, but I wanted a house. So I got a video about that, about how he led me that night. That night. When I was like, God, what to do? Where to look? What do you want me to do? Like, God, I need you. Like, I call on God for every single thing. It ain't not one thing that I don't call on him for and that he don't answer me on. Not one thing. Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 33. That's 3333. And it says, and when this come to pass, lo, it will come. And when this come to pass, and it will come, they shall know that a prophet has been among them. I got a video about this, and I'm probably going to post it because I saved it. And I said in the video, I said, you will only get this video if this prophecy comes to pass. Because God promised me that he was going to give me a house. I'm so blessed for the house he just moved us into. So beautiful. No, it's not about materialism, but God knows that I'm a homebody. I love home. All I care about is creating from home. All I care about is being home with my kids, nurturing my kids, being a family. Just like as much as I was thinking about going into this coaching thing, I don't want to do nothing that's going to take me extra time away from my kids, because my whole purpose for ever wanting to be in business entrepreneurship was to be with my kids. Because I don't want them to feel alone. If y'all was on my live last night, y'all know I was venting to y'all about how my daughter felt alone yesterday, you know, and because I'm so into this, and then I be doing other stuff during the day, and then I don't have that much time to do this like I was supposed to. So it's like when they get home, I still be want to read this and work on this. But no, while they at school, this is supposed to be my time to work on this. So when my kids get home, I can get in that undivided attention until they go to bed. Then I can finish working on my other stuff. Y'all know I be jumping a little bit. But these numbers, God created numbers. God created spirit animals. The stork today, I'm like, I keep seeing this stork. Mind you, I've never seen storks before until I got to Texas. All these blue jays that I keep seeing, all of this. But God started me off on my journey using angel numbers, using spirit animals. He does this stuff for me. And when I look it up, it be right on the money. It be right on the money confirming. As I was getting into the car, I broke down today because God knew I wanted to go. I got a bit, I don't know if I'm gonna post it, but he waited literally. I got my 5 laps in. He waited literally as soon as I got in the car, it started pouring down raining. He waited for me. He waited for me. God will never leave nor forsake you. He is always with you, especially when you obedient to him. Even when you're not, though, he's still with you. He gonna give you grace, but he's not playing with us. Time is running out. Let's be clear. This thing that Russia got going, this is the mark of the beast. This is the apocalypse. This is gonna be the fall of Babylon. That's why he's shifting. This is why there's a shift. This is why people are like, why is everybody getting closer to God? Because God is trying to prepare us. He's trying to get us right. He's giving us mercy. He's giving you time to come on home to the Lord, to put him first, like he said, like he been said. Now I lost that page too. I'm back at it. There shall be no other gods before me. He constantly reminded us throughout this Bible what he did for us by freeing us from slavery. And he didn't free us from slavery, and we didn't got out here cutting up, worshiping other gods, knowing of God, but thinking because Jesus died for our sins that it's okay for us to just still do all of these things. Yes, God knows we're still going to sin. Yes, he knows. Yes, he knows that it's going to take time for us to release some of our sins. He's given us grace, but he wants to see that you're working diligently. He don't want to see that you're working against him. He wants you to work with him for your greater good. He wants you to work with him, not against him. And once you know better and choose not to do better, he holds you more accountable than when you never knew of the right thing. He holds you more accountable. And I did a video about that the other day. We hate accountability. even with the stork, because I'm birthday, and we know the stork, y'all know I be getting off. But back to the stork at the lake today, this is why I like getting out by the lake. Because it's like God always sends something while I'm out there. I might as well, I always tell y'all I want to come back as a bird. I want to come back as, I need to be free in nature like the birds. And we know the stork is known for, let me read this, the meaning of stork. It says, stork symbolism signifies good fortune and new beginnings. I'm in my new beginning. I'm in a new beginning, I'm ready to go head on into this, to teaching who we are. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of us, we think we're not qualified for certain things because we're new in it, because we don't know much of it. But God qualifies the called. God, if God chose you, he gonna lead you, just like he did Moses, just like he did many of them. Moses wasn't confident either, but he chose Moses. He led Moses. He told Moses what to say. He told Moses what to convey to his brother for his brother to say it, because his brother didn't have the speech impediment. Moses did, but Moses was the one who heard from God. Moses is the one who wrote on the tablet. Man, this stuff go deep. They've been trying to hide the real from us forever. Everything that they have done was to keep us from knowing the truth. And I'm here to bring the truth. I stand on truth. I stand on business. I don't care about whose feelings I hurt when it comes time to the truth, because the truth will set you free. But let me finish reading this right quick, and then I'm gonna go into 177 because this video already long. But it says, stork, when this large bird visits you, it's a sign that delightful things are on the horizon, like the bluebird. Mind you, as I was walking into my car today, like the video I did, I started busting out crying. I might post a little bit of it in here. I started busting out crying as soon as I got in that car, because I'm like, God, you really like, I mean, I know you for me. I see everything that you have done and continue to do for me. I know you for me. I know you for me. But as I was walking into the car, 2 blue jays flew right past me. I said, come on now. The stork. And then it went away. I don't know where that stork had went. But every day I keep coming out to the lake, I'll see the stork, and then it go away, but I didn't seen it. And I've never seen a stork before. I only know of stork because of baby showers, because that's a part of the, when you go to a baby shower, you play like baby shower games, the stork is for bringing a baby, like it's for birthing a baby. And this is my baby. This is my new baby. I had explained that to my daughter yesterday, like, this is my new baby. My ministry is my new baby. Bringing the truth, bringing the raw being into my book. This is my baby. This is what I'm passionate about. This is my purpose. God led me to my purpose through the use of these things. So can't nobody tell me. Can't nobody tell me about what's demonic, what's not, because God will use these very things. If spirit animals is demonic, he will once again use that to get you right the way you need. Now I know my purpose. My soul fulfilled. My soul is fulfilled because my mission, I'm answering the call on my life. The reason my spirit came back into human form was for this very reason. And I feel so much peace inside that I'm working in it, and God is continuously leading me through this thing. It says, sighting this spirit animal could also imply that you or someone close to you will soon become a parent. Moreover, stork news says that you are close to accomplishing your goals. That's one of my goals, is to really get out to the masses on here, really teach people, really get people back to God. But it says, stork symbolism inspires you to venture into new and unfamiliar territories. Have I not done that? Like, in other news, this creature says that you should stop letting fear hold you back. An encounter with this spirit animal also asks you to remain calm and collected in the face of opposition. Storks are silent birds, so their presence in your life might be teaching you to stop talking so much and to keep your plans secret. Period. People be wanting to know what I'm up to. You don't need to know. You don't need to know. Furthermore, when this spirit animal flies into your life, it urges you to remain faithful to your partner. The stork is a staunch defender of its home. Thus, it brings a message that you should protect your loved ones and place family above all other things in life. Ooh. And that's what I'm about, what I was just saying. That's what I'm about. I'm about my kids first. Yes, I'm here to save them, save people and heal people and pour into people And I'm going to do that, but I got to make sure I have time management and great balance with this thing, because I cannot neglect my kids in the process. I cannot have my baby upstairs crying, feeling alone because mommy got given all her attention to work and to this and that. Yes, I'm working for God, of course, and God comes first before even them kids. And that's why I have to do that. I have to make sure I'm balancing my time right. It says, people with the Stoke totem make excellent friends and partners. They are loyal and remain by your side to the end. They also make great parents. On the downside, these folks might be overprotective of their children. And Lord knows I am. I'll go to war for anybody. All that everybody already know. About my kids, I will stump you, period. Don't play with them. Yes. Just like God told the Israelites to smite them people. Yeah, I will smite you over my babies. Period. Don't play with them. Don't play with them. It says, additionally, they are quiet individuals who prefer to express themselves through creating, writing, and other art forms. Many of these people who have this spirit animal love little children, most especially babies. And it's so true. Every time I go drop my daughter off at the daycare, I love the little babies. They all gravitate towards me. They be like, bye. They be so cute. And of course, like I say, move in silence, so I can't say everything I really want to say. But I love the kids. What I've been telling y'all since day one, I'm pro kids for the matters. I'm here to save these children. I'm here to get them out of these Moloch environments with these people that sacrificing their children to these Molochs, letting these men and women touch on your kids, abuse your kids, treat your kids bad. No, I'm here to save the kids. I got so much plans for the children. But I ain't gonna say everything because people watching, people might be trying to steal my stuff and all that, you know. But, you know, people hate on you when you got plans and when you got goals. They really hate on that. So, gotta keep that on hush hush and never no noise. But, it says, these people are also some of the most playful you'll come across. And I am. I'm very silly. I play. I'm going to be serious and I might stop playing. Like the squirrels. I told y'all in them videos. I'm like the squirrels. I believe in work hard, play hard. You know, I can't take, life is already hard enough. I'm not going to be serious 24/7. But when I'm about my business, I'm about my business. And I'm not playing. I stand on business and I stand on word. And my word is bond. Just like God. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I don't care if it's good or bad. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm not a woman that I should lie. I stand on my business and do what I say I'm going to do. Period. That's why God trusts me. And it says water is essential to them. So you might find them living very close to a river, an ocean, or a lake. And that's where I found him at. The stork is always by the lake when I see him at the lake. This is why I like going by the lake. I see so many, it brings me peace when I get by the lake. I love being by the water. And we know the prevalence of being by the water in the Bible. The prevalence of water. God is water. Jesus was the living water. And I'm the new living water too. Period. And we are water. What is it saying? I done wrote that scripture down. In James, once again, James chapter 4, verse 14. This is a variation of my numbers, 144. You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. That's all we are as spiritual beings. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. We're water. What are we made up of? Majority water. Our soul, that's water. We are filled with water. All of this stuff is fluid in us. Water. And you are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. You're here today, gone tomorrow. So don't worry about the troubles tomorrow bring. I think that's in Matthew or something. Like, whoo, child, this video already long. Let me read this part. I don't know, but I might say that for another video. Maybe I'm gonna just get to it. But so he led me today in my car. He was showing, I saw 177. So I'm like, all right, God. So I look up, I put in Google Bible verse 177. So I put 17:7 because I know that there's more than likely not a chapter 1 verse 77, except in like Psalm. I know that gets long, but even still. So I Googled that. When I see these numbers, I now will Google what the Bible verse is for those numbers, and it be right on the money. So God led me right to this, the same thing I was talking about last night. So it says, so Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 7. But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. That came right on time because of when I was in the car and what I was saying with God. I was like, man, I'm about to make this move and do this because I know what I need to be doing. And I trust God. I know God got me. He done got me this far. I know God, I know you got me. I don't have to do this other stuff. I don't have to do that. It's just certain things that I realized I don't have to do. I don't have to be in bondage to nothing for the sake of money. I don't have to be in bondage to nothing for the sake of having nice things. I don't have to be in bondage to nothing to have things, because God is going to bless me with these things. He's going to use other people to bless me like he did. There's no way I should have qualified for this house that I'm in. Got an eviction on my record. Got my credit score is hit. There's no way I should have qualified for this, but it was nothing but God. And so many things about it just shows that this was nothing but God. Every day I'm like God, like this is what I'm saying. God know you. He know what you like. He know what you desire. He know everything. He know why a home was so important to me, because I'm a homebody. I love home. That's the only place I care to be at. I'm getting ready to start my little garden. Everything that about my life plans revolves around home. I love home. That's where I like to be. I don't like to be out in the streets. I don't like to be over nobody else's house. I like to be at home. And this is why the enemy kept me from finding a home for so long. But one thing about it, God was just using that season once again to prune me, to get me right to where I am now, so that when I get in my home, I don't forget what I was supposed to do, like we normally do as the Israelites, as the modern day Israelites. We the descendants of the Israelites. We do just as those Israelites did in the Bible. He blessed us, and then we forget that he just blessed us, and we start to go astray. We start to do what we want to do. We start to worship other gods. We start to get cute, get above ourselves, and start doing other stuff other than what we've made a covenant with him to do. Because a covenant is an agreement between two. God will promise you something, and in return, he's expecting something back. And when he be saying that he's going to do certain things for us, he'll do it for us, and then we'll sit there and forget what our part of the promise was. We'll start to backslide and all of that. Nah, I said 10 toes down, God, you can trust me. I'm loyal. As loyal as I've been to all these earthly people all these years, you think I'm not going to stay loyal to the Father? The Alpha, the Omega, the beginning, the end, the first and the last, the Creator, my Father, who has done so much for me in 1 year. You think I'm not? I'm rocking 10 toes down for my Father. And if he is for me, can't nobody be against me. I don't care about who got what to say. But this video getting long, but I want to read this because we need to know who we are. You know, I don't know if I'm going to go do it in another video just so that video can be strictly about this, because this video is kind of like, it's been all over a little bit, but it's kind of like just, I really want to just talk about this whole angel number, prophetic number, whatever they want to call it. God will use anything and anybody. Yes, these numbers are real. I don't care what nobody say. I'm living this. Right as I was having that conversation in the car, well, he led me right to this, confirming again the trust in the Lord. Because yesterday, man, he's so timely. Yesterday, I was like, man, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to do that. All right. About to get above myself. After I already know God don't want me doing that. God don't want me going to get no job. God don't want me out here doing these gigs. He don't really want me doing none of that stuff. This, because we running out of time. He need me to focus. He need me to be spreading this information because time is of the essence. And I need to get these messages out. This is why it's important to be obedient, because through your obedience, you're here to save some other souls. You're here to help other people. You're here to help other of God's children. No, everybody not going to get it. No, everybody not going to be for you. No, everybody, but you are here to serve a purpose. And to find your purpose, you got to build your relationship with God. You got to let God in. And the way he communicates to you might not be the way he communicates to me, and vice versa. So you can't let another person's story depict you from what your journey is. That's why when I hear these people say that stuff, I be like, I mean, that's you though, because that ain't what he did for me. And I know my purpose. I'm walking in it. What that lady said in my comments the other day, you filled with the Holy Spirit. They can feel it. They can feel it. And this is what he used. He kept showing me with this house. He kept showing me, even times before this, like I said in my playlist video, some of the stuff that he done revealed to me about who we are as the chosen people was through the use of angel numbers. Went to them Bible verses and boom. Boom. Right on the money. Just like right now, what I really want to read to y'all about why we are, about who we are as the chosen people. Now let me read it. So this is Jeremiah chapter 17. It says, Judah's sin is engraved with an iron tube, inscribed with a flint point on the tablets of their hearts and on the horns of their altars. Even their children remember their altars and Asherah poles, beside the spreading trees and on the high hills. My mountain in the land and your wealth and all your treasures I will give away as plunder, together with your high places, because of sin throughout your country. Through your own fault, you will lose the inheritance I gave you. It's our fault we lost our inheritance. It's our fault we in the trenches, in the hoods, in the It's our fault. It's our fault because we did not keep the Lord our God first. We started to worship other gods. We started to put all these idols to see the way that our community just be so in love with Beyonce. It's okay to like that girl. It's okay to maybe like with the music, how it might make you feel. If it's good. But the way y'all would sit there and worship this lady, the way y'all be worshiping Kim Kardashian, but let your own black sister be doing some of the same stuff that this girl do, y'all would have a lot to condemn your own black sister about, but it's okay for this girl to do this stuff. It says, I will enslave you to your enemies in a land you do not know, for you have kindled my anger, and it will burn forever. I will enslave you to your enemies. He fed us to them. He fed us to them. I got to find the verse in here where it was saying he didn't tell them to be as harsh as he was with us. Yes, he said to enslave us. Yes, he said to enslave us. That was part of the covenant with Abraham. When he kept renewing the promise to Abraham about he was going to give us a land, our strange land, the land we were a stranger in. Once we go through slavery, he was going to give us that land. This is why the South is our turf for real. This is why he's moving a lot of us back down to the South. Because this is our land. This is our land down here. This is why he's moving us back. This where all the acres and mules, the other day up the street from here, right up the street as I'm saying, they got llamas and all type of stuff, all that land. That's supposed to be our stuff. But a lot of us, we don't even want responsibility. We don't even want these things. We just want to have money to buy the designer and all the bullshit. We don't really want the true wealth. We don't want the land. We don't want the animals. We don't want what's true wealth that's going to live on forever. And having animals, that's true wealth. Why do y'all think Rick Ross, why do y'all think he went and got animals? Because that's where the true wealth is. You're eating your animals. You're eating the animals. Look how much money they make off of the animals. Because we go out here and slave, work hard all day so we can go buy these foods. So we have to pay the people with the animal. They're the ones got the animals, make the animals, make more animals, slaughter them. So yeah, we got to pay for this stuff. It says, throughout your own fault, you will lose the inheritance I gave you. I will enslave you to your enemies in a land you do not know, for you have kindled my anger, and it will burn forever, because he angry with us. He angry with us. And people think that God, why on earth do y'all think that God don't get mad? Why do y'all think that? Yes, God is love, but have you ever heard of tough love? And sometimes for tough love, you gotta step on some toes. You gotta hit them where it hurt. You gotta humble them. The same way with your own kids. Your own kids don't listen. Your kids know you love them, but they know that sometimes mommy, daddy gonna show tough love because I've been acting out. I've been doing this. I'm not listening. So they angry at me. Don't mean that they don't love me, but they trying to prune me up. They trying to train me up in a way that a child should go. So yes, he will get angry with you. And if you're not listening, he gonna keep spanking you. God give us whippings all the time. Who don't get whippings? Even me, as a chosen one, gets whoopings. I done got so much discipline on this journey. That's why I'm about discipline right now in my life. Because God gonna keep on humbling me if I don't. None of us can go without suffering. It don't matter if you're one of the 144,000 chosen ones or not. Nobody's going without suffering. None of us is going without suffering. None of us. None of us is going without being hated. You're going to face all the strife. You're going to face all the adversity. It's God-given because it's going to do something for you. It does something for you. It builds character in you. It reveals your purpose. Like I said, if it wasn't for all the evil done to me, all these years, would I be here today? No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. This is what the Lord says. Cursed is the one who trusts in man, who draws strength from mere flesh, and whose heart turns away from the Lord. Cursed is the one who trusts in man. So you put more faith in the government. You put more faith in the pastor. You put more faith in your parents. You put more faith in all these people. And not that you're supposed to disrespect them and not honor them. But if you can put faith in these fleshly made people, man, it was a Bible verse right. See, I be seeing all of this, but I don't be writing it all down. But he said to trust, you don't ever put your trust in man. This is biblical. You don't put your trust in man. He done warned us time and time again. Warnings against forsaking God. He done warned us and warned us and warned us what was going to happen. But he knew it. He knew what we were going to do the moment we got free from slavery. He knew it. From the beginning of time, he knew exactly what we was going to do. He knew exactly what we was going to do. This is why he warned us and warned us, and warning comes before destruction. Because he know us. He know what we're going to do. This is why even he'll keep you in your waiting season for a while, because he know once he bless you with that, you won't get ahead of yourself. Even for me, he made me be homeless for a year. I've been really homeless for real since I moved to Texas. Like, come on, bro, for real. Because even when I got that apartment, I was only in it for 3 months. When I first got here, I was homeless for a whole month. Then found a place. That was the counterfeit. Because I was settling. That apartment had mold in it. God wouldn't have moved me in a house of mold with no apartment with mold in it. God wouldn't want that for me. But me moving ahead of myself. He knew. Like, I had to go through this. He has been pruning me this whole year. This whole year since I touched down on February 28th, 2022. It is now today. It is May 11th. He been pruning me this whole time because he know me too. He know I'm not materialistic, but I do like materials. I do. I love beautiful houses. I do. I fantasize about beautiful houses. I drive around the neighborhoods looking at all the big, beautiful houses. I go around there. I love it. I love that. Yes, I'm not materialistic with clothes and all of that stuff, but I love the houses. I love nice cars. I do want my money. But he knows what I really want to do with my money. He knows my heart. He judges the man by his heart. He knows your heart. So it ain't nothing you can get over on God. He knows your heart. He know what you want to do before he created you in your mama womb. What he say in Jeremiah? Let's go back to Jeremiah. That's why I love the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah got everything in it. And Isaiah. It says, the calling of Jeremiah. Before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. And before you came forth out the womb, I sanctified you and I ordained you a prophet amongst the nations, for I knew you. But the Lord said to me, say not I am a child, for you shall go to all that I shall send you, and whatever I command you, you shall speak. That's why I'm going to step on toes, because whatever God tell me to say, whatever he tell me to talk about, I'm going to talk about it. It's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. Just like I talk about the real with this whole, what people, what be happening to the little kids. Because I can't stand that. For me, that's the most abominable thing. Like, I'd rather you go, I ain't going to say that, but I feel like messing with the little kids, taking their innocence, because that's what Satan wants to do. He wants to strip you from your innocence, because if he strip you from your innocence, if he make you have that toxic childhood, that harsh childhood, it's going to take you away from God, like many of us have done. If you get the children while they're young, it's easier to manipulate them. If you get to the kids, Satan's job is to attack the children while they're young, so that they can't grow up proper, so that we can have these mental illnesses, these eating disorders, all this conflict and strife that we go through internally, so we can go astray from God. Satan's whole plan, that man envy, that spirit, Satan, he envies God so much. He envied him for his likeness, for his power, because he don't have the power to create. That's why he's really mad at God. That's all these Satanists, these Satanists, they're rebels. They're rebels to God. See, me, God chose me to be, because I'm a rebel, but I go against the enemy. I'm a rebel against the enemy. I'm a rebel against the systems that was put in place to keep us down. Yes, I'm a rebel too. That's why God made me like this. I'm going to go against the grain. That mess don't sound right. You trying to trick me out my spot. I'm not with that. Why you think so many of our parents, when we grow up with these narcissistic parents, why you think so many of them they scapegoat us? Because they be with this wicked shit that we're not with. We are rebel to them, and they don't like that. You rebelling against me, you going against me. I'm your mama, I'm your daddy, I'm your auntie, I'm your grandmama, and you going against me? Because we sense the wickedness in them, that spiritual wickedness. The battle is not against flesh and blood. It's against spiritual wickedness in higher places. Child, this bang is itching my face. Like, but let's finish reading this, because I will, my back, I got a lot to say. And it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. Be prepared to watch these videos, because this is, I'm taking you to church. I'm taking you to church. It's the New Age church. Hell no, I'm not going to sit up in them synagogues. What he say? Where my scripture about that? Where my scripture about that? Don't play with me. Because I already told y'all videos are gone. And you can still have, yes, he wants you to have fellowship. He wants you to fellowship with other people that's of God too. He do. But you don't have to go to the church. If you want to, of course. I'm not trying to take people away from the church. Because if you have a good church home and you feel the love, you feel the Spirit of God is dwelling amongst the church. Because a lot of these churches, God had left the church a long time ago. The Spirit of God has fled. He has fled from a lot of these synagogues. Let's be clear. Yeah, people talk all of this stuff about occultness and all of this. God created all these things. But if you start to worship, like, yes, there's a God of the sun, there's a God of the air, there's a God of this, because it's spirit. Anything that holds power is considered a deity. It's considered a God. We know the power that the sun has. We know the power that the air has. We know the power that water has. We know the power that all of these things have. So yes, anything can be considered a God. Because I was reading right here, I wrote down that they may know from, because it says, I am the Lord. This is Isaiah chapter 45. That's why y'all need to go read Isaiah chapter 45, because I realize I got a lot of Isaiah chapter 45 verses written here. It says, I am the Lord, and there's none else. There's no God beside me. I girded you though you have not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. There is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. I forgot what I was about to go read. Oh, it was about the synagogues, because he said, for you, where is it at? Because he said, even with Revelation 7:17, I told y'all one of my numbers is 7:17. This is how I knew long ago, months ago, what I'm supposed to be doing, because Revelation 7:17 confirmed. For the Lamb at the center of the throne will be their shepherd. He will lead them to the springs of the living water, and God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. And it basically is meaning, even though I was new, even though I'm new in this, even though I don't know all of this, even though I didn't grow up in the church, God has qualified me. He qualifies the called. And baby, I was called and I was chosen because I'm chosen because I answered the call. For many are called, but few are chosen. You're not chosen until you answer the call in your life. Until you turn away from your wicked ways that the world wants you to do. Until you stop trying to succumb to the world and what they want of you. Stop trying to care about what your family want of you. And you walk in the way of God because you're God's child. He used your parents as the vessel to get you here. Though I'm new in Christ, God has qualified me and appointed me to be the leader of the lost sheep, which is the black people. We're the lost sheep. Y'all need good leaders. Because the leaders that's out here, trash buckets. Trash. They've been leading the people astray for how long? Gotta celebrating these holidays that really is of the enemy, and the enemy just be sitting back like, man, it's gonna keep coming. I'm gonna keep on exposing it to y'all. I got so much tea to bring to y'all. We're gonna start doing some Bible study though. We're gonna start doing Bible study. But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. I forgot the little part I was about to go to about synagogue, because God said, you know, for they, where is it at? Oh, because it's in Matthew. It says, and when you pray, you should not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily, I say to you, they have their reward. God is so funny. When I be reading some of this stuff, I can't do nothing but laugh because he is such a savage. It's so funny, and people want to make it seem like God is sweet all the time. It's always about balance, because when you're too kind, you're too nice, people will always take advantage of you. So sometimes you have to let people know what you really about. You have to let people know, don't play with me. Pray, what they been saying lately, pray for me, don't play with me. Because one thing about it, the savage is going to always be in me. That strength is going to always be in me. But it says, but when you pray, enter into your closet, and when you have your door, and when you shut your door, pray to the Father which is in secret, and your Father which see in secret shall reward you openly. I didn't have to go in front of all the church congregation. I didn't have to go. I didn't have no audience besides my A1 day ones, and even with y'all. I ain't praying. I don't get on here doing prayers. I don't know if that's going to be in my future or not, but I say my prayers. I do everything in private. And when he was saying in your closet, my closet is my home. When I was in the shelter, my closet was my room, because y'all know we had our own room at the shelter. That was my closet. That was my church. That was where I found and learned my purpose and got closer to God at. Right at home. Right in the shelter. Right in the shelter. That's where I got closer to God at. That's where I found my purpose at. When I was all the way at the bottom. When I hit rock bottom. But you who pray, it says, but when you pray, use not vain repetitions as the heathen do, for they think that they should be heard for their much speaking. Don't be like them, for your Father knows the things that you need before you ask him. He already know, man. Look at this. I just be so full of gratitude because it's like he know what you need. He done provided. He done given me hidden manna the whole time. He been nourishing me this whole year, really over this, from the time he told me to quit my job back in 2020. God been providing for me and my children. That's why even when the enemy try to get in my head, I be like, flee, devil, flee. Get thee behind me, Satan, because I know what my Father has done. You're not about to trick me out my spot. And I didn't let you trick me out my spot a couple times because of me going off my flesh of my desires and what I want and not being patient, just waiting on the Lord like he told me to. So I didn't trick myself in my own spot, let Satan get into my head. No more. No more. No more. But you guys, it's been quite the morning for me. I done been crying. I done been, because I just can't believe it. God is just, he for us, but we need to be for him. Like, God has feelings too. God has feelings too. He has feelings. Like, just like as parents, you have feelings too. Your kids can hurt your feelings too. Especially when you know that if you are really a good parent, you know you want the best for them, and you know you didn't sacrifice so much, and you doing so much, and you got so much in store for them, and they just won't get it together, and they let other people convince them to go against you. They let their friends peer pressure them to do things that you taught them not to do, and they let the peer pressure get to them, and they rather look for validation from their friends than from their mama and daddy. God feel like that about us. It's like, how dare you look for validation from man who can give you nothing but hurt and pain, agony. How dare you look for validation from these fleshly made beings? How dare you? How dare you put these other people before me after what I did for you? He constantly reminded us in this Bible. Oh, this is the Apocrypha. He constantly reminded us in his Bible, constantly. Most of this stuff is repetition. That's why it's really not intimidating. Even this, I'm in Jubilees. I just skimmed through Jasher a little bit. Enoch. A lot of this stuff is repetition, but some of it got a little bit more detail than what the Bible had. That's how I know these books belong in the Bible, because they mentioned, that's what made me realize that there's stuff missing out of here, because some of the stuff that they mentioned in here, I'm like, well, where is this? Where is that? I know they had mentioned Obadiah. Obadiah is in the Bible. But when I see them mention Enoch, I'm like, well, where is Enoch? Who, what? Like, they mentioned the stuff in here, but because they took certain things out, you got to go finding some of it. Certain stuff that they keep mentioning about the cave of treasures. You know, when you see, even with Adam and Eve, they don't even have the whole story of Adam and Eve in here. I done bought that book separately. In here, the Forgotten Books of Eden. This is the first and second books of Adam and Eve. To really get the real history, like, I'm really into knowing from the beginning how was this created? What is going on? What happened? What is the real tea? And God is leading me, and I'm going to bring it to y'all, period. So this video been long, but we got to get it together and trust God with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. And if God is calling you to go on your own spiritual journey, stop being afraid of losing your family, your friends. If it's in God's will for you, because it don't matter what you want for yourself if it's not in God's will for you. If what you want and what God has for you and has already ordained and orchestrated, because he done already ordered our steps. He done already ordered our steps. From the moment he allowed that sperm to meet that egg and it started flowing down the fallopian tube and into the womb, from the moment it all happened, from the moment the magic was made, he ordained what was going to happen with that little spermie. He ordained what was going to happen. He already ordered your steps. And this is why from such a young age, Satan tries to get us. Because if he can get you, if you attack the children when they're young, you'll mess them up for life. You'll mess them up for life. And one of the other things that he has told us, we're going to go over that. Because like I said, we're going to have Bible study. As I'm reading, I'm going to get on here and we're going to be doing Bible study. Because we got to learn these Levitical laws. We got to learn the real. We got to learn the real. Like, people be glorifying Paul and all of this stuff when Paul had added some stuff in. Like, when people will be saying that certain stuff, like, how do you know it's real? Because they didn't add certain stuff in. When you get that relationship with God, trust you and me, you're going to know exactly what's real and what's fake in this thing. Because 1 Corinthians and 2 Corinthians contradict itself with the whole thing about marriage and about being equally yoked. 1 Corinthians will tell you that it's okay to be unequally yoked with somebody because you got the power to you can stay with that person even though they're not believers and you're a believer. But then 2 Corinthians said two cannot be together if they unequally yoked. For one will try to lead you astray. The one that's ungodly will try to lead you astray. So, man, I can go all in all day about this stuff. But I'm about to get to reading. Ooh, it's just been quite the morning. So, I'll see y'all in the next video. If y'all stayed to the end, kudos to you. Mwah. God bless y'all. I love y'all. We got this, y'all. We got this. All right? Deuces.